Hello and welcome to a presentation on the Kingdom of the Netherlands' history institutions. The Netherlands gets its name from its low-lying lands, constituent countries in Aruba, Curaçao, and Saint Martin, as well as islands in the Caribbean Sea. 98% of the kingdom's land area is comprised of the Netherlands. The Netherlands is sometimes referred to as Holland by other countries and some Dutch people. Dutch people are the citizens of the Netherlands, by the way. Holland is not actually the Netherlands. It is actually comprised of two provinces in the Netherlands. Um, During the time that the Netherlands was under Napoleon's control, uh, the Holland had made the biggest contributions to the nation's wealth, which is why you will catch most people referring to it as Holland. In the first century BC, many numerous tribes invade the area. Um, the tribes that invaded the area were mostly of Frisian and Batavian um, heritage. The capital, Amsterdam, was founded in 1275, and the Netherlands has been a constitutional monarchy since 1815. All right, moving on to the geography of the Netherlands. The Netherlands is mostly flat land and has 25% of its land below or at sea level. Flooding has been a huge problem with the Netherlands, and as such, they've developed technology to combat it. Just a few examples of some bad floods would be St. Lucia flood of 1287, which caused more than 50,000 casualties. This became the fifth largest flood in the world. In 1427, St. Elizabeth flood killed up to 10,000. In 1953, high waters killed 2,000 people. And in 1995, flooding forced evacuation of 200,000 people and millions of animals. The Zuiderzee was started in 1919, and they were built to dam off the Zuiderzee Bay from the North Sea. The Zuiderzee would be this area in here. The dam they built, which is called the Afsluitdijk, runs from Den Oever in the North Holland province to the village of Zurich in the Friesland province. The project turned the Zuiderzee into the freshwater lake, the IJsselmeer. Which also go on to start the Delta Works, which is the largest flood prevention system in the world. The history of the Netherlands. So before you is a timeline of some key events that happened in the Netherlands. I would like to take a minute to focus on the Batavian Revolution. Alright, so the Batavian Revolution happened in 1795, and it was between the Patriots and the Oranges. Current stadtholder William V led an authoritarian regime many citizens were not very fond of. The Patriots wanted a more democratic government and an equal society, while the Oranges wanted to support the stadtholder at the current time. The stadtholder is pretty much like the Duke of this area. What happens is the Oranges eventually push the Patriots back and exile them to France, where the Patriots eventually start to talk to the French and feed them the ideas that made them have a rebellion in the first place. With the help of the French, the Patriots return to the Netherlands and they fight the Orangists again and eventually win, and they begin to occupy the Netherlands. This in turn leads to the Batavian Republic. All right. The Dutch institutions consist of the monarch, which appoints members to the cabinet. It then initiates law and policies. The monarch then serves as the head of the Council of the State, which advises the cabinet on every piece of legislation and is also the final court for the administrative law. After that, you have the States General, which is composed of two houses, the lower house and the upper house. The States General is also referred to as the Dutch Parliament. The judicial system then applies the laws, and the local and provincial and water boards uh, service the people on a lower level. Dutch elections. The Dutch have a representative democracy just like the US, where citizens vote every 4 years, and they elect members of their parliament, or MPs. There are 150 MPs in the lower house and 75 members of um, the Senate making up the upper house. Prime ministers are usually the leaders of the largest party. The major political parties are the Christian Democratic Appeal, which is the CDA, the Labour Party, which is the PVDA, and the Party for Freedom, which is the VVD. So the key political figures currently are King William Alexander, who is shown on the right with his Queen Maxima, and Prime Minister Mark Rutte of the VVD party, which is shown on the left. All right. So one important thing to remember about the Netherlands is that the government is comprised of a coalition of parties. This means that um, multiple parties have to come together to form a government. With this, uh, a lot of the time, a cabinet falls when there's a disagreement between the parties. When a cabinet has fallen, then the prime minister must ask the president to appoint another cabinet. Over recent history, it seems that the cabinet has uh, a frequent turnover, as between the years of 2002 and 2010, the cabinet had to be recreated 5 times. The newest prime minister seems to have created some type of stability, however, because there have been no other cabinets created since 2010. The Netherlands are most similar to the UK in that both governments have a monarch who is responsible for dignified leadership of the country, and much else is not expected of them. The only other responsibility that the monarch of the Netherlands has is the fact that he appoints the cabinet. The two countries are also similar in that both governments survive off of a coalition government where multiple parties can be in power at one time. All right, this marks the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.